Welcome to the Our Day Off podcast here at King of the Hammers 2026. Megan and Derek Miller, what's going on, guys?
Hey, Matt, we're doing great. We're out here having fun.
Yeah, this is the biggest race of the year. I think everyone knows it. And you guys have been out doing a lot of pre-running, a lot of course detail. And I don't think I asked you guys, how'd qualifying go?
Qualifying went really well for us. We have had some pretty bad experiences in the past. We've never done well qualifying here for some reason. And this year, it was really smooth. So I'm really happy with the fact that we had a smooth qualifying run yesterday. Couple minor mistakes during qualifying, but overall, I'm super stoked with it. I think we're sitting 7th in class. I think we'll go off the line 42nd, so that puts us in the 21st line.
Perfect.
And dead middle of the pack for EMC.
Yeah, dead middle of the pack.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
not counting stock class cars there, but the 48s and 45s were right in the middle.
Yeah, nice. So good job.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sounded like it went well. And I mean, the course this year for qualifying is kind of tricky. I mean, it's not exactly an easy one. We've seen lots and lots of people tossing it down the mountain, rolling.
It had a real short course vibe to it.
It did it?
Yeah, our buddy who qualified really well in 48, actually he's local, so he went back home and got his short course setup, sway bars and everything, and set his car for that. He put on a heater.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Good. I mean, there's been some people absolutely sending it out there. I watched. I don't remember. It's one of the Sorensen. They bought
in the camel car.
The camel car.
Yeah,
they just
GC
bought
car.
that car, and he was coming down the V notch back towards the short course, and just kind of took a little bad line, caught the tire, ripped the tire, and just tumbled down the hill. I'm talking tumble.
Oh man, there's so much opportunity in that qualifying course for huge errors. Honestly, it was really short course-esque, but there had to be a lot of precision involved.
For sure.
We were coming down the second ridge, and there's two lines coming down there. There's a right line and a left line. And the right line, there's a giant boulder on your passenger side, and then a really deep crevice on your driver's side. And I miscalculated a little bit, and we blew a rear tire coming down there. So, it didn't stop us from finishing well, but we knew we were on borrowed time at that point.
Yeah.
But, I've saw a couple people hit that giant boulder at the bottom of the hill, coming off the
Coming off
second
the ledge.
waterfall.
Yeah.
And so I'm just really glad that wasn't us, because that looked painful.
I'm glad
Right.
the car came off in one piece. We could deal with a flat tire.
Yeah.
Yeah, flat
Yeah, you know what I mean?
flat
we're gonna
tire
have-
is easy. And it was it insta flat, or was it just
No.
coming low?
It was about the time we pulled through, you felt the car sit down. So it
Thank
kind
goodness.
of held in. Yeah.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
I mean, that's best case scenario.
Yeah. And coming back into short course, I'm like, hey, your right rear's flat. Don't set into this left hander hard or we're going to tumble.
Right.
I don't know what it was doing. And it held and we did okay. But yeah.
Right.
Yeah. We're fighting steering problems. So that was fun too. We went off your little double. And then that first left-hand turn, our car right now is sticking to the left. I had to reach over
Yeah.
and grab the wheel and help. We almost went over the berm right off the start.
I just it was the berm's going left, and I'm I have no steering, Derek. I have no steering, and he just yeeted it.
Yeah.
And we just skimmed the top of the berm, and it was perfect timing.
It looked perfect. That was not the plan.
Thankfully, it looked perfect.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Do you guys have in-car cams?
We do.
Oh,
Yeah.
I bet
we
that's
do.
a sweet view.
They didn't use it yesterday though, but we rebroadcast our own car stuff.
Oh, cool.
So we a buddy of ours sets up our own little broadcast with the two cameras on YouTube Live.
Oh, cool.
And it's got all the partners around framed and stuff. It's super legit. So
Nice.
we always have our own.
Right. Do you guys have a plan going into qualifying? I mean, I know everybody's got a different thing, they think about or try to do or hit this line or hit that line. Is it just play it safe, or are you checkers or wreckers out there in qualifying?
No, I didn't want to be checkers or wreckers because I didn't want to take the risk of the alternative. So, we did strategize how we were going to go into it. And I think, our philosophy going into it was just smooth and steady would be faster than if you just went super hard and you didn't get it perfect.
Right.
There was too much risk to reward there. So I know, some drivers are just real precision drivers, and 90% of the time they're going to hit it, and they do that checkers or wreckers and they nail it. But I just really wanted to qualify well this year. So I really wanted a smooth run over a faster run.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time when we were pre-running it finding the ramps, right? If you watch, every way up has a big ledge, and it just unsettles the car, and they start doing burnouts trying to get back online. We really focused like hitting the turn-in points and keeping at least one tire like on that ramp the whole way through. So the car stayed planted the whole time. So it was real fast. Even though we did the bypass line instead of the ledges, it was fast because the tires never left the ground, you know?
There's been a lot of people taking that left out and around.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it seems it's like the safe bet, right? You know, you can shoot the ledge and hope for the best, like you're saying. You can kind of risk it for the biscuit, if you would say, but that outside line will get you to the finish, hopefully, and without pop tires or even rolled over. Whereas, you know, there's been a lot.
Yeah.
And that ledge line's great if you can one-shot it.
Right.
We're in a limited class car, right? We have 37-inch DOT tires, so we don't have big 40-inch stickies that'll just eat up that ledge. So it's like, okay, let's play it safe and make sure we get over it.
Right on. All right, everybody. I want to give a quick shout out to CT Raceworks. CT Raceworks makes the baddest parts in the industry, including the parts that Kyle Chaney uses to win the 2025 King of the Hammers 4400 race. Now, if you would like to use those same parts, feel free to go over to CT Raceworks and use the Our Day Off discount code, and that will get you a 5% discount on your entire order at any time. So that's Our Day Off discount code upon checkout. Back to the show. So now that you've mentioned it, why don't you elaborate for the people who are watching who maybe don't know what considers your car to be that class? What makes it that class?
Okay, so we're in the 4500 modified class, and the idea behind the class is you're based off of a factory frame rail car with a steering box. Rules are always open to interpretation, so based on the way rules have been written and changed over the years, our car never started out as a factory car, but it resembles one, and it has technically a square tube frame rail from the motor mount to the back of the driver's seat, right? That's our big one in the class. And then we have to have some sort of mechanical steering connection. So we have to have a steering gearbox. Ours is unique in that it's under the driver's feet instead of on the frame rail like a Jeep would be. That allows us to have a double triangulated front suspension. So the car is amazing. The car handles great. It steers great when it works.
Right.
Right now we're fighting some stuff with the steering where it wants to lock up to the left. But the other big thing about the 4500 car is that we get bypass shocks and coilovers. We get 2 shocks per corner, where like a 48, even though the rest of the car is not really that limited, they only get 1 shock per corner. So it's like, you know, it's kind of give and take.
Right. And are you guys competitive with 4800?
I mean, not, it's tough, right? Like the 4800s, it's gotten to a point where they've made those single shock cars so good with trailing arms and stuff that like it's really hard for a 45 to be as fast as a 48.
Well, and the shock packages that they've come up with too.
Right.
Yeah, they don't necessarily have the bypass and the coilover, but they've got the IBPs with internal bypass now. So it's like, what do we? I mean,
and like the new ADS stuff is fucking wild. The ABRs,
crazy.
like they're all the internal bypass technology is so crazy now, and the fact that those cars, you know, they're full hydro. They're basically, if you put 40s on it, they'd be, some of them are still competitive 4400 cars.
Yeah, I mean, Casey Gilbert did it. You know, he took his car and just went and raced 4400,
right,
and just put 40s on it,
right,
you know, and it was competitive. So they're already close,
right?
You're right.
So it's really hard. I think there was probably a point in time early on in EMC where a 45 and a 48 were probably close, but they've been able to grow the 48s with technology where the 45s were kind of stuck in this box. You can only do so much. Now you got guys like Dan Wyrick and Todd Miller, who we race with a lot. They're amazing drivers and they haul the mail, but I still think it would be tough for them to beat a top 48 car, like really hard.
Right. So why would you choose that class over, say, 4800 or 4400?
So for us, so Megan came from a stock class car, so the jump to 48's wild, right? There's some wild boys in 48, and it's
a stacked class, too. There's like a million people in 4800.
Yeah.
I know. I was thrown into the wolves.
Right. Yeah, but you laid down a heater.
True.
Yeah.
Well, you know, as much as I like to claim that, I mean, I did. Yeah, I'm qualified first, but I made it 10 miles. And,
but that's the game.
You know,
that's the game.
Hammers bit me. So
you listen. You can prep. You can do everything right, and you still got to have that lucky rabbit's foot shoved somewhere on our race day. Or,
you have to. This place will tell you who's boss right away.
It really does.
Always seems to.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll just move into what your thoughts for race day are. Plans. You guys have done a bunch of pre-running. Is there a spot everybody's kind of worried about and you're in on track? What's it look like?
We have a theory that if you're not like the first 10 people through outer limits, you're probably not going to have enough time in your day.
Really? If you get bottlenecked up in there, you're just going to be waiting?
Because it's, I mean, at least it's on, you know, I think the waterfall at the top of outer limits is going to be a real problem. Jack is always a problem for the limited EMC cars. Like Jack's going to be a parking lot, but I think so many people are still going to be backing outer limits. There won't be a lot of people in Jack, but you're gonna have to winch Jack. I think Jack and outer limits get winched no matter what you do.
Yeah. It,
So
I've seen a couple guys go out to Jack and just drive it and not pull any winch.
yeah,
And you almost wonder if that. I always feel like when I'm pre-running, I get lucky.
Yeah.
It feels
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
Like when you're pre-running, you're just out there. You're not really stressed out. You're not under race pressure.
Right.
And a lot of times you can just drive stuff. And then you go race day, and you end up just like all over the place. And it's like, what is happening?
Yeah.
I came and pre-ran this 3 times, and we drove right up. And then race day comes, and you're screwing things up. And I don't know if it's just the pressure of race day or if things have changed since then. It just seems like it's always harder on race day for some reason.
Well, that and like on race day, you can't always pick your lines.
True.
If you're not, like Derek said, if you're not the first few cars in a rock trail, sometimes your lines are being chosen for you and they're not going to be ideal lines. And so I feel like that has a huge factor. Because like you mentioned with, Jack specifically last year, we pre-ran Jack, we one-shotted it, we didn't winch it. And then on race day, there were just cars stuck everywhere. And so it was just a winch fest in there. I mean, even just to get to the waterfall, you were winching because you're just falling in all of the holes because you don't have a good line to even make it to the waterfall.
Right.
So
And you're fighting other people's winch lines. And,
Yeah.
And it's like a give and take. You could pull up there and people are winching, but what do? Like, try to pull up next to them and winch past them. Like a lot of times you just have to wait. Like,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
the hardest thing to do as a race car driver.
it's so
when you
hard to wait.
Come into a rock
Right.
trail and you look up and it's just 5 cars buried in all the lines and you're just like, oh no. So you kind of just have to like wait a second and see who's moving,
Right.
Yeah.
who's
Right.
going to get out first, and then just take that spot.
and then you're that guy in mall traffic that's like trying to like wait to the end and cut in,
Yeah.
and hope the other guy doesn't like box you out because that's always it. And we were out on course today looking at a rock trail with a former king. He just happened to be there. We weren't there together, and he's like, "Oh yeah, if there's a bunch of people in here, I'm just gonna like go up over here." And I'm like, "There's like technically there's rocks there, but like okay." And he's like, "Yeah, no, just come over here and drop down." And I'm like, "Bro, that's like a kickflip."
He's just
Yeah.
like gonna mob the wall. I'm like, I would like to see that. Like,
Yeah.
But it was a 4400.
Oh,
There was a
yeah.
course of a whole different ball
They
game.
can do
It
things
is,
that we
yeah.
can't even
Yeah,
dream
and
of doing.
it's the kind of thing he's looking at a line that tires have never been on.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's legit the side of a canyon wall.
Wild.
And he's like, I'm just gonna hit it and drive around.
Hope for the best.
Dude, I was like, I love your confidence.
I hope we get it on camera so we can
I
all
know.
watch.
Yeah, I have a feeling it'll be drone footage of the car on the side.
Yeah, I'm
like,
sure.
dude,
I'm
it was-
sure.
Yeah, it was rowdy.
I've seen those dudes throw those cards on the side and lay it completely over and just steer into it and throttle up and they'll
Yeah.
land right back on their tires and then take off. It's
Yeah.
like, good God.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like that's dedication.
Try some motors and big horsepower.
Yeah, wild stuff. And the tech that's going into these cars nowadays is just
spaceships.
bananas.
Yeah, there's spaceships.
Yeah, you look inside of some of like Lauren Healy and Vaughn, like you
Yeah.
look inside their cars and it's like it looks like an airplane.
Yeah.
It looks like in the cockpit of an airplane. There's so
it's
many
unreal.
buttons and
Yeah.
I'd be confused.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
scary.
You like, can we go back to just like run, starter, light bar?
Yeah, well,
Like, can we just go back to like 4 switches?
and it's weird because like you've got guys who are super, super competitive with cars that are like that,
Yeah.
that
Yeah, for sure.
you don't necessarily have to have all the latest and greatest tech. It's another cool factor of Ultra 4 racing.
Yeah.
Is there's so many guys with so many different cars,
Yeah.
and a lot of them are built in different shops or at home, and like you guys do all your own
Yeah.
fab for the most part, and
Yeah.
like there's such a wide variety of vehicles out there, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I mean, those cars can break. The
Yeah.
more tech you start
Yeah.
dumping into these things, there's a lot more to go wrong.
That's true. That's
so
true.
We were fortunate. We bought what I consider like one of the better 4500 cars in the group, and it was built by Keith Beam at Get Bent, and so it's an amazingly well built car and well thought out. And then having been raced, it's like flushed out, right? So we typically don't have like interference issues or anything like that. So like it's one of those things like I don't think I could have built a better mousetrap, so we bought one.
Yeah.
If we bought a used one that was flushed out and dialed and
Yeah.
she could just hop in it, and other than, maintenance items and cleaning stuff up here and there, like it's good.
pesky steering problems.
Pesky
That's
steering.
new. That's the first time we've ever had an issue with a
Yeah.
car like that.
I mean, honestly, that was gonna be my answer when you asked us earlier why we got into 4500. It was literally just because I fell in love with this car. Probably a year before we bought the car, if not more, and we just always had our eye on it and said to each other like, if I could have a new car, like that would be the car I want.
Yeah.
So, I feel blessed to have that car to pick out a car and say, this is the car I want. And then you get that car. It's a pretty amazing feeling. And I'm a huge fan of our car. So it feels
Well, I
good
would
to
hope
drive
so.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it
You
sounds
should like your own car.
it sounds like a pinch me moment. You kind of talked it into existence.
Yep.
You
Yeah.
know, you said, hey, I kind of like that thing. I'd love to own it one day, and boom,
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah.
And it's perfect for her. It's win-win because like the car is built so small, I can't drive it. Like
Yeah.
I physically can't drive the car.
Well, I'm actually glad you said that, because that was kind of my next subject. Is like, it's a husband and wife co-driver setup, and you're in the passenger seat. How is that?
So typically every year we come down here, and like the first like 30 or 40 miles on the car is like we butt heads, we're trying to get back in that rhythm, and then we're just good. And then the other thing is like once we get out of the car, all that stays in the car. Like if we're every co-driver driver, right? You're butting heads, like
Sure.
you're arguing, hey, you went that way, or you hit that rock too hard and my neck hurts, whatever. But then once we get out of the car, it's hey, what do you want for lunch? What do you want for dinner? What do you want to do tonight? Like, what do we, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
trying to turn that off, that's been a thing. Her first year I didn't co-drive for her. One of our good buddies did. And then it's the same reason like when I raced, it's so hard to find a co-driver that's as committed as you are to the program.
Right.
There's no one more committed to the program than me, right? And if there's a problem with the car, I know the car, so I can hop out and fix the car. So it's just one of those, like, it just made sense. It just works.
Well, good
Yeah.
good for you guys.
I mean, we were, like he said, the first year we didn't race together because I was really nervous about that. I mean, I can tell you, it's hard to listen to your spouse. Like I don't like to be told what to do, and so going into racing, it was like, oh, I don't think we can be in the car together. Like that's really stressful.
Right.
Just chewing each other's head off. That was what I was afraid of, and I didn't want it to damage our relationship. And then, like you said, it's hard to find someone dedicated to your race program or like wants to see you succeed so much. And there's a lot of, time dedication that's required to get to know each other or see every single rock trail. Cause that's the kind of driver I am. Like I have to see every single race mile before we race it. Like I want to know how everything connects, and I want my co-driver in the car with me the whole time so that the two sets of eyes can remember
Right.
what happened when we went through here. And so, yeah, the first year he got in the car, it was a little bit of a learning curve, but I think once we got in that mindset of just like, we're going to work, we get in the car and it's just work, just put in the work, and then you get out of the car and you're back in your relationship. But the relationship changes in the car. And like you said, sometimes, it takes a minute to refigure it out, especially something, King of the Hammers is such a long race, and it's unreal, because you're spending 5 days pre-running these trails, thinking to yourself, how am I ever going to do all these trails in one day?
Not even a full day. Like
I
like
know
an 8-hour day or whatever. Like
it blows my mind
yeah.
every time. And then race day comes and you just do it, and it works out. But every time that we're pre-running, I just think to myself, oh my God, this is exhausting. How are we going to do this at once?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm really lucky to have him in the car, especially because, I trust him, and I know that if anything goes wrong, he's the guy. So
Yeah.
he can fix the car because he knows every inch of that car. And honestly, every win I've ever had, I have to attribute, a lot of it, the majority, to Derek, because he gives me the most prepped car like at every single race, and I feel like that's a huge factor in winning off-road races. Because rock racing isn't easy on your vehicle, and if you kind of skimp in areas, I feel like that's why people don't finish races a lot of the time. So I just feel really blessed that I've got somebody that makes sure that, my car is going to be the best it can be. So then I just have to go do my job.
Well, it's really cool hearing you guys talk about it, because I don't think there's a lot of people that could have that exact same mindset, have their spouse in the car with them.
Yeah.
It's like working with family.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
100%.
it's really hard. So hats off to you guys for making it work. And it sounds like you got a great team going on. So that's really cool to hear.
Yeah, so far so good.
Yeah. What does the rest of the season look like for you guys?
That's a big question mark.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We chased the whole season last year. We did events, we saw you at LS Fest, we did a lot of stuff, and it's like, man, that's exhausting. Like
It is.
it takes so much time. And I like to say it depends on how Hammers goes. Obviously if we end up on the box on Friday, then we're going to have to really consider if we do the whole series or if we just cherry pick, like we want to go to Moab, you know what I mean? Like we want to go do this. And, we're from Northern California, so all the Prairie City, NorCal rock racing stuff we'll do no matter what, because it's 20 minutes from the house. And it's like, so, we'll do at least probably 2 more Ultra 4 races this year for sure. It's just whether or not we go to Montana. I think it's probably the big
I think
question
that's
mark.
the only thing really up in the air is Montana. Just because that's, it's pretty far. It's a lot of miles in a race.
And it's not really a rock race.
Well, true.
You
It's
know what
like
I mean?
it's kind of like a desert style,
Yeah.
different style of desert,
Yeah.
kind of, sort of.
Yeah.
It's some short course.
It's more wide open, right?
Yeah.
It's not a technical race necessarily. I mean, not to say there's not technique in driving like that, but it's not the way that these cars perform.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So-
Sure. Yeah. It's not the style that you like.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Correct. Now, and the problem, so that's a Joker race. And when John made the announcement at Nationals, he said, you have to do the Joker race or, and there's 2 of them. And I said, can we do either one? Like, we're not, like West Series doesn't have to do Montana. We can go do Oklahoma.
Gotcha.
Because her first race in that car was in Oklahoma, and that was rad. It was a great course.
That was a great time.
So I mean, it's a 28-hour tow, but
Yeah. Well, I
It's,
know it's 32 hours for me to drive here.
Right.
Wow.
I drove here in my RV with the Jeep on the back. So
Yeah.
I do it. I think last year I drove to California 3 times.
Wow.
So, and I'm Northern Indiana. Have you guys raced any East? Like,
No, we've
East
never
Coast-
done any
Have you
East
ever
Coast
even
stuff.
raced in the mud?
No, the
No,
furthest
I hate
we've
mud.
done is
Don't
that.
start.
I know. I don't want to wash the car.
Yeah.
I don't want to wash all that off the car.
I'm very jealous right now.
Well, I mean, sometimes in April, NorCal rock racing is pretty muddy.
That's true.
But it's still a rock race. It's not like
Yeah.
the mud you're talking about that we've
Yeah.
seen.
We're not just in like the suit.
in Kentucky
miserable,
and
yeah.
stuff
Well,
like that.
we're not wet where we get out of the car. The
Yeah.
car's dirty.
Last year's Badlands race in Indiana, it literally opened up and downpoured in the middle of the 4,400 race. And it was crazy. It was crazy. It was like they would have been better off in bass boats.
Oh God,
It was miserable.
that
I mean,
sounds miserable.
and for me, I hate the mud. I grew up on the East Coast. I know all about the mud. And when I was younger, I loved it. And the older I get, the more I realize that the mud destroys everything.
Yeah, all
Yeah.
your Heims, all your shock
You're replacing
gating
everything.
balls, yeah.
Seals are trash. Everything's screwed.
Yeah.
And plus you can't see.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean,
you only have so many tear-offs.
yeah, Sean Reisky actually finished the race last year and had to go to the ambulance so they could flush his eyes out because after a certain amount of time, you just can't see. So you've got to open your visor. And once you open your visor, there's no going back.
Yeah.
And you're just wiping with whatever you've got handy, or a lot of us will zip tie like microfiber cloths to our harness,
Yeah.
so you can just grab the cloth and wipe your eyes.
yeah.
But
Which only works once because now it's covered.
and it's
the
covered.
rest of
And
you-
and
yeah.
at that particular race, it was an extreme version. It was literally downpouring while the race was happening, and those guys went through hell. I mean, he had a really bad time.
You're
Yeah.
really selling it.
Yeah,
You really
don't-
make me
no,
want to go to
no,
the East Coast and race.
Don't do it. Don't do it. That's why I come to California so many times.
Right?
Yeah.
I like it out here. It's dry.
Everyone complains, oh, California, but look who's here. Everybody.
Yeah.
You all came here.
Well,
to
this
race.
is the biggest race of the year, and we all love it so much. And yeah, it's tough and it's grueling, and the track is grueling.
Yeah.
And being out here in the desert for so long makes it hard. But dude, we all come back every year.
This year's
do.
going to be wild that we're doing so much of the desert loop after the rocks.
Right.
Like, I think we're going to see a lot of attrition on that second half of lap 2 in the desert because, like, you know how it is. You get out of the rocks and you're just happy the car's still like
Yeah.
halfway together, and now I got to go beat it through the desert for 40 miles. Like, God, I hope it stays.
It always cracks me up is you start the race and the car like doesn't make any noise, right? You know all the noises the car's making, and then you'll get out of the rocks and head back into the desert, and you're like, what is that noise? What is that squeak? Do you hear that?
You
feel
start
that
getting
vibration?
paranoid.
And you're also vibrating.
Oh no.
Yeah.
You're just waiting for that bang, and you're like, oh no, yeah. It's gonna be a wild race this year, and it's gonna be a race of attrition, which it always is. I'm not saying anything new.
Right.
But I wish you guys the best. It's been an absolute honor to meet you and get to know you more and more and have you on the podcast. And
Yeah, absolutely.
20 years at King of the Hammers here. This is a big year. So you qualified well. You got a great plan for race day. Great team. I wish you guys the best, and I hope to see you guys on the box. I'll be down there in front of the stage cheering for you. That's for sure.
Thank
And
you.
I appreciate that, Matt. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure. This is the Our Day Out podcast here at King of the Hammers. Let's go out and have a good time, and hopefully you guys make it to the podium.
I hope so. We'll see you up there.
Thanks for coming on, guys. We'll see you guys later. Thank you.